Do you ever wonder how all these people are out here traveling and still making money? Like, what's actually happening for them behind the scenes? Like, are they rich? Do they have some kind of like trust fund? Is it because they're all influencers? Like, how are people traveling the world and still making money whenever it seems like they never work? So let's talk about it. By the way, in case you don't know me, my name is Bianca, and I show 9-to-5ers how they can permanently leave the corporate world so they can have time freedom and financial freedom. And I also show everyday people just like you who think you cannot afford to travel that yes, the F you can. So hit that follow button if you haven't already. If you've been following me, you know that one of the things that I love to talk about is different ways to earn, make, attract more money, all of it in your life, and especially from anywhere in the world. As somebody who is living abroad, obviously I'm even more passionate about showing people how they can make money from anywhere in the world, because I believe the world is too big to not be traveling, and the world is too big to just be stuck in one spot, and to limit yourself to an income stream that requires you to physically be there, at least for your entire life. I mean, I feel like at some point, get these online coins, get this Wi-Fi money. And I want to talk about just like the possibilities, y'all, because some people really don't even know. And then there are some things you may have heard of them, but you haven't really heard the perspective of what that actually looks like in action. And I'm here to give you the tea, no gatekeeping. So let's talk about one that you hear about pretty often, right? Like having a remote job. And I'll be very honest about things that I've tried, things I haven't tried, things I know people are doing, etc. So remote jobs. I have been working remote since 2018. Off and on, I've had jobs. Sometimes I'm working jobs. Sometimes I'm only doing my business. And as of right now, I have a part-time like project-based job that I've been doing off and on for a few years. And outside of that, I just make money from my business. And, let's talk about remote jobs. So my actual career, like what I got my college degree in, is like business and marketing. So for me, I've been doing marketing for almost 10 years now. So being in like a digital space is not new for me. And there are a lot of other careers out there like that. But for some people, it might be something a little bit more general, something like customer service or like data entry, like jobs that like a lot of people can get even if you don't have a ton of experience. And listen, those are options. I think that there's nothing wrong with having a remote job as long as that's not your only stream of income. If y'all have watched my other videos, y'all that I'm very passionate about talking about having multiple streams of income, diversifying your income, not being dependent on one stream of income, especially if that is a job. That's why I created the cash flow come up checklist, which is at the top of my page. If you want a resource that has a ton of different side hustles and income stream options that anybody can do. So here's my thing about remote jobs. Two main caveats. The first caveat is like, is that job truly remote? Truly remote? Because there are remote jobs that will claim that they are remote, but then they're like, oh, but you can't work out of the country for this amount of time. Oh, but you have to be in this area. So I would just keep in mind that if you do want a remote job, or if you're looking for a remote job, or you're thinking about it, look for a job that is truly location independent. The second thing to keep in mind is that a remote job is still a job. It's still a job where if you have, meetings or direct reports or a team, or, you work in like a really collaborative environment, that at the end of the day, yeah, you can be traveling, but you might also have to stop what you're doing for a meeting. You might have something like pop up out of nowhere. And at the end of the day, in my opinion, you still end up being a slave to somebody else's calendar. And that's literally why I'm now on a journey to make my permanent exit from the 9-to-5 world. The next thing is having something like a freedom business. And that can be a lot of different things. Like there's so many different ways that you could be bringing in money. Even if you have something like real estate back home, if you're like a digital marketing entrepreneur like I am, there's so many different things that you can do from an entrepreneurial perspective that will allow you to travel the world. So that's also another big one. And again, it really depends on the person. Luckily, it's 2024 and being able to make money online is easier than it has ever been. Travel content creators. There are some people who literally get paid to travel. So you're like, how are they affording all of that? They might not be technically affording it. They might be being flued out. What is that? Flued out, flown out, whatever it is. They might have some company that is paying them to fly to a destination. Like you can do this with Airbnb, you can do this with hotels. UGC, user generated content, is like really popular right now as well. Like there's so many different ways to literally be paid to travel. This is something that I have like dipped my toe in. It never really took off for me. I haven't given up on it. It's not a priority for me at the moment, but it is something that I am planning to pursue more in like the next couple of years. Okay, I'm going to go through just a few more random ones. And these are things that I have heard specifically from people who I have met while traveling. So first off, some people are just taking time off. Some people truly are just taking time off and they're not working. Some people are retired. Some people are on a sabbatical. Some people have, they might have been let go from their job and they have like severance to hold them off for a few months. Some people are just winging it. And listen, outside of the US, you'd be surprised at how easy it is to wing it because it's not as expensive in a lot of other countries. I mean, listen, me and my husband, a lot of what we are doing right now is winging it and being creative with how we're bringing in money because we're in these countries where, like, if you're making US money, it's so affordable to live. Me and my husband met a British guy working in a Jamaican restaurant here in Thailand a couple weeks ago, and he is literally working in a restaurant, just like serving. And for him, like, he's being paid cash because, like, he technically is, like, not, like, allowed to work here, but he's being paid cash under the table. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just saying, like, there are so many different ways to make money while you're traveling. You can sign up for websites to volunteer. You can sign up to house sit. You can exchange different services. You can learn to teach English. Y'all, there's so many different ways to travel. But you have to be willing to open your mindset. You have to be willing to be more open-minded and try something different. These people, including myself, who are online traveling the world, we're not doing anything that you cannot do. Your situation may be different, but listen, I grew up black and broke in North Carolina, like first generation college. Dad didn't even graduate high school. Mom didn't go to college. So honestly, I'm really not here for the excuses. At the end of the day, if you want to travel, where there's a will, there is a way. So it's fine for you to like look online and like wonder, but how about you stop wondering and you start taking action yourself? Like I said, I have a guide. It's called the Cash Flow Come Up Checklist, and I give so many different ways that you can start making money from anywhere in the world. And even some of the things I just named, I'm willing to bet there's something that works for you. Be honest and drop in the comments below if I named at least one thing that you could consider doing so that you can start traveling or traveling more.